During today's presentation, all parties will be in a listen-only mode. Following the presentation, the conference will be open for questions. This conference is being recorded today, and the earnings press release accompanying this conference call was issued earlier today. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone that during today's call, we will be making forward-looking statements as defined in the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. These statements are based on the company's current expectations, projections, beliefs, and estimates, and are subject to a number of risks and uncertainties that cause actual results to differ materially from those forward-looking statements. Potential risks include, but are not limited to, demand for our products, operating results of our subsidiaries, market conditions, and other factors discussed in our most recent annual report on Form 10-K and other documents filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Although the company believes that the assumptions underlying these
Yeah, this is all
statements
the
any of
boilerplate
them
stuff about
can be proven inaccurate, and
your
there
own
can be
research,
no
which
assurances that the
everybody
results will be
understands that.
realized.
But yeah, it looked like the numbers
The
were
company undertakes no
were right in line.
obligation to
The
update the
stock price, at
forward-looking
least
statements made during
I checked it
today's
a few
call.
minutes ago, hadn't reacted a
Copen
whole lot. So
Corporation's Chief Executive Officer
uh,
Michael Murray will begin today's call
Pre-workout looked good. I mean, it
with
was
strategy,
great. It wasn't
progress,
bad. So
and
it's like,
business
hey,
development
after rising that much, it's
fourth
pretty
quarter
good.
yeah,
and the period that has followed. Following Michael, Copen's CFO, Eric Mann, will review the company's first quarter 2026 financial results. I would now like to turn the conference over to Michael Murray. Michael, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, operator, and good morning to everyone, and welcome to our first quarter 2026 earnings call. The first quarter and subsequent weeks marks one of the most exciting stretches in Copen's history. We continue to grow our defense order book across the United States and Europe. We also advanced our micro-LED technology platforms and announced a strategic collaboration with Fabric AI that we believe meaningfully expands the long-term opportunity set and sustainable acceleration of revenue growth for Copen. Today, I'll walk you through three areas. First, the Fabric AI collaboration and the launch of our jointly developed Neural I/O optical interconnect technology for AI infrastructure. Second, our continued momentum across all global.
Hey, by the way, I'm just hate to pause him right there, but that's what I really think is driving this recent move in the stock price. What he was just talking about there with the collaboration with Fabric AI. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I believe it.
yeah. So
Defense markets, including new orders, our entry into first-person viewer drone technologies, and the major thermal imaging follow-on contract awarded subsequent to quarter end. And third, our strategic investments, including bringing OLED microdisplay manufacturing in-house at our Westboro headquarter facility
that
here in
was
the United
yesterday's
States,
news.
and how we're positioning the defense business for the long-term exponential and sustainable revenue growth at higher profit margins. First, let me start with the most consequential announcement we've made this year. Recently, we announced a strategic collaboration with Fabric AI, an AI infrastructure development company building the advanced core capabilities for AI factories that power large-scale artificial intelligence workloads. Together, Copen and Fabric AI are joining development of a new product family we call Neural I/O that is designed to dramatically increase bandwidth, speeds, decrease power consumption, and importantly, lower overall operational costs of currently operating data centers and new data centers alike. Neural I/O is built on Copen's proprietary micro-LED technology and our patented bidirectional neural display architecture. What we've done is repurpose programmable micro-LED pixels as ultra-high-speed optical transceivers, devices that move data at extremely high bandwidth using photons of light instead of electrons traveling through copper wires. This matters for one simple reason. Today, data center equipment and GPUs relies on dense copper interconnections to talk to each other. And those copper interconnections are now the binding constraint on AI data center performance and power consumption. AI factories are running into the limits of what copper can do, both in terms of bandwidth and in terms of the energy required to push data and cool the systems. Neural I/O is designed to break through those limits. By using each microLED pixel as a high-speed optical transmitter, we are designing chip-to-chip, board-to-board, and rack-to-rack communications that target the same functional outcome as copper while consuming a fraction of the power. To use the words of Matt Kimball, principal analyst at Moore Insights and Strategy, quote, the ability to enable connectivity that delivers the full throughput of an accelerator without taxing the power budget has been a persistent challenge in the industry.
Sounds
And
very
KOPN
good.
and
about
Fabric AI's Neural I/O
material
built on microLED.
Say again?
I was gonna say this just sounds very good from like a materials restrictions standpoint in terms of like if they didn't need
Oh
the
yeah.
copper or something. I mean, that's already going to be strained with it being used in everything. Like this sounds like it could be very interesting for potential like net margin. So yeah, I'm liking what I'm hearing right now.
Yeah. I mean, copper ran across the screen last night. I thought I saw $6.30, give or take. Man, that's crazy. But the big thing is the heat generated with all the electricity, all the electrons going through the copper, and then the follow-on cost of cooling. Getting rid of that heat around all the expensive chips. So yeah, it's a true kind of a the idea of it, if it really works at scale, it is a sort of a game changer in terms of that. Um,
LED technology presents a unique and compelling value proposition. Moreover, this marks a completely new era in data transmission, bandwidths, and designing of electronic systems, end quote. Several recent articles estimate that the AI infrastructure optical transceiver market is expected to reach between $69 to $90 billion by 2030. Of that total spending, the United States Department of Defense and government systems is the second largest consumer of this technology behind the traditional hyperscaler markets. This is why KOPN and Fabric AI decided to focus on each of these individual markets separately. This relationship was forged with a clear intent of relentless focus on addressing this massive market in the right ways, with the right people, to promote exponential and profitable growth with the proper resources required. KOPN will support the absolute and clear requirements of the United States government and Department of War for U.S. production of AI chips and chipsets. With our US-based microLED production line, we are installing as part of our Industrial Base Analysis and Sustainment Act Award, or IBAS Award. This custom-designed production line will support the Neural I/O family of chipsets for the United States Department of War and government customers. Fabric AI chipsets and our new color microLED products for programs like Soldier-Borne Mission Command and many others will also be produced on this production line, and I will expand on that more later. Under our agreement with Fabric AI, and in addition to the $15 million initial purchase order to fund the demonstrable chipset, which we expect to be completed by the end of 2026, KOPN owns 19.9% of Fabric AI, and KOPN is their exclusive manufacturer of Neural I/O chipsets. The collaboration combines our deep expertise in microLED material.
Hey, I started looking into Fabric AI as well because I mean, this is a 20% stake is nothing to sneeze at.
It was just the exclusive distributor for me. That's I always love to hear that.
Well, I'm talking to. I want to look into Fabric AI as well. As another potential company to cover here, because the idea here is AI is the one taking it to the hyperscaler market, right? And they got to use KOPN to build it. KOPN's focused on the military. I think the reason they've struggled here the last few years is the lack of the commercial side of things with virtual reality and consumer headsets or first person view type stuff. It has not met expectations, but with the whole drone economy coming to the fore, there and these micro displays in all the other, not just drones. I mean, drones are actually a small part of what they're creating with these micro displays. Everything from simulators to the pilot visors, heads up displays for soldiers, the sharing of all of that through Anduril with the Lattice software, network that collates and brings all that information input into one thing. Then it hits the Palantir layer, So anyway, they're just really situated here. Let's get back to the call, man. But this whole thing with the hyperscalers and the data center applications, and there's also follow-on applications here. If you can reduce that copper input anytime you got a situation where chips are talking to each other, in the servers, in the various equipment, in point of sale places, just across the spectrum of Internet of Things, and electronic equipment, then you're reducing the copper inputs to reducing the heat load, making things more efficient, increasing the data that can be transmitted with a given input. So, yeah, it's really revolutionary stuff.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
You-
and it's
Like you kind of know what's all about. Like that's awesome.
yeah, yeah. Hey, man, I bought in last February, and that's the real key, is getting in on these companies early.
Yep.
But being too early is, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
Materials, process development, yield optimization, and manufacturing, with Fabric AI's system-level design and go-to-market focus on hyperscaler AI infrastructure. We believe this is a true technology partnership. Kopin brings the enabling hardware, and together we are building an infrastructure layer that AI data centers will require to scale for years to come. In addition to our 19.9% equity stake in Fabric AI, Kopin's shareholders have direct exposure to the upside of this opportunity beyond the manufacturing economics. Fabric AI has raised the required capital to fund this development and staff the business appropriately as Kopin completes the Neural IO prototypes. We will share more on the development roadmap and customer engagements as it advances in later calls. AI infrastructure is being deployed at an unprecedented pace, and the bottlenecks created by traditional copper interconnects are precisely the kind of problem our technology is well suited to solving. We believe this collaboration dramatically expands Kopin's market opportunity and positions us as a strategic enabler in the next wave of AI acceleration, and it fits very well within our core skill sets and capabilities leading micro-LED development and manufacturing here in the United States. While there are competitors attempting to develop their own solutions like Kopin's, most are startups and have never produced this technology previously. Others are established firms in the copper or fiber optic transceiver markets, which have not produced this technology previously either, which provides Kopin a significant market advantage from a timing, yield, and quality perspective, since we are actively producing this technology today. Now, turning to defense, our first quarter and the period.
Hey, so just real quick on this right here, this what he's talking about there is first mover, and the market likes what it's hearing. Yeah, we're right back up to, I think we just, if it holds, it'll be a new 52-week high here at $5.55. So keywords for me on that first half on this commercial side, and I'm sure in the question and answers, he'll get to how he's letting Fabric AI run it, and run with the ball, because they're set up to handle it, and they just invested in the equipment to build these units and supply them right now. Here he's talking about defense, and it's going to all be about the NDAA. We're probably going to hear about DOG, autonomous warfare group, the defense innovation unit. This is all tying together with a lot of our other companies that we cover. So here's the defense side of things, and this is bread and butter right here, no doubt.
Period since reflects continued strong order momentum across our core programs and meaningful expansion into new ones. Let me walk through the highlights chronologically. In January, Our strategic partnership with Theon International produced its first order on DarkWave platform, a $1 million development order to bring the 960p OLED DarkWave module to production readiness. This is a significant opportunity and milestone because DarkWave enables users of traditional monochrome night vision goggles to upgrade them as a retrofit with full color, augmented reality, enabled symbology, and full motion digital interface and interlacing feeds, including drone imagery. Our DarkWave module is the foundation of Theon's upcoming Dark Eye product. With more than 2 million estimated NVGs in use globally and a global NVG market projected to grow from 8.6 billion in 2025 to 12.9 billion in 2030, DarkWave targets a very large aftermarket opportunity. And because the system is ITAR free, it opens up a new global market for both companies. In February, we announced 2 new European helmet-mounted display orders. First, a $2 million microdisplay production order from a Tier 1 European defense contractor for a rotary wing helmet-mounted display system. And second, a $3.6 million purchase order from an advanced avionic helmet-mounted display system to be integrated into a rotary wing military aircraft from yet another European defense customer. Together, these awards bring our pilot helmet-mounted display order book above $10 million and underscore the strength of our display solutions across both U.S. and European defense aviation. Indeed, our European business plan and focus is starting to provide new customers and applications, which will only increase our order book, provide more global business independence and stability, while increasing our European facility absorption rates. March, we were awarded a Phase 1 SBIR contract from the United States government to advance new full-color yet smaller format micro-LED display technology, purpose-designed for soldier-borne and weapon sight applications. This is the second micro-LED-focused U.S. Army award we've received in the past 6 months, and it builds directly on the existing $15.4 million IBAS contract awarded in September of 2025, which is focused on developing domestic production capabilities for our micro-LED displays. The micro-LED architecture under development is engineered to deliver the brightness, ruggedness, and power efficiency required for next-generation weapon sights, helmet-mounted visual information systems, and other precise targeting devices, the kind of capability that scales across multiple defense programs. In April, we announced our entry into the first-person viewer drone market with the launch of our Sentinel FPV product. Drone pilots need high-resolution headsets connected to the cameras on the drones to control it as if they were in, quote-unquote, the pilot seat of the drone. We received an initial $3.2 million order with potential delivery of up to 40,000 goggles by the end of 2028. What makes Sentinel unique is something we call dual situational awareness, or dual SA. Like traditional FPV goggles that fully block out the operator's peripheral view, Sentinel is engineered to deliver high-definition drone imagery while preserving the user's peripheral awareness of their surroundings. No other FPV goggle on the market provides this level of hands-free integration awareness. In field trials, drone pilots love the demonstrated dramatic improvements in survivability, mission effectiveness, pilot dexterity, and safety that Sentinel provides. We believe this technology has potential to redefine what a tactical FPV system looks like, and we're actively engaged with additional drone and FPV companies to integrate Sentinel into their platforms. Further, this technology is built in the United States, which is mandated by the FTC and the Department of War. Also, subsequent to quarter end, we announced a $21.5 million follow-on production contract from a major U.S. prime to manufacture custom thermal imaging eyepieces and assemblies for a man-portable thermal weapon system. This award expands our growing backlog and reinforces KOPN's role as a trusted U.S.-based supplier of mission-critical vision systems for the warfighter. With more than 400,000 mission-critical solutions delivered across multiple generations of defense programs, this contract is a strong vote of confidence in our manufacturing capability and our ability to deliver American-made technology that performs in the harshest of environments. Taken together, the orders we've announced over the last several months, Darkwave with Theon, the European HMD Awards, the SBIR for Soldier-Borne Micro-LED, Sentinel FPV, and the $21 million Thermal Imaging Follow-on Award reflect both the durability of recurring order rates of our existing defense business and the confidence of our government, North American, and new European prime contractor customers have in the new product lines we're bringing to market. As a reminder, many of our defense programs have congressional budget demands through 2030, and several of our contracts are sole sourced, indefinite demand and indefinite delivery, or IDIQ, which provides additional upside flexibility above what is currently on order, recurring revenue and forecastability and sustainability for several years. Now, I want to spend a few minutes in the third area, as I mentioned at the top of the call, on our strategic investments and what they tell you about how we are deploying our cash. After quarter end, we announced the purchase of a state-of-the-art OLED deposition system and related equipment to establish full-scale OLED microdisplay production at our Westboro headquartered facility. For the past several years, KOPN has operated under a fabless OLED production model, leveraging external partners. The reason we are bringing this capability in-house now is straightforward. We are experiencing a substantial, quantifiable, and qualified surge in customer demand for fully U.S.-built OLED microdisplays, particularly for
NDAA.
FPV systems like Sentinel, thermal weapon sights, and other soldier-borne mission-critical defense applications. Bringing OLED manufacturing capability in-house
Or for
gives us
growth.
What's that?
I was going to say the call is it's quite compelling so far in terms of growth and additional stock appreciation, just based on it being still sub $1 billion market cap. And with them having their hands in all this and the AI aspects, having quite a large backlog of orders on their products with an assumed, increase that backlog for reoccurring orders.
Yeah.
It reminds me a bit of like LightPath in that way. And I got to say, even with it being up as much as it is, it's definitely perked my interest in terms of potentially looking for an entry.
Right.
If I haven't picked up any shares yet, so we'll have to see. I'll look for a red day, obviously, for entry if I do.
Right.
But yeah, this is sounding very good right now. And
Just like LightPath, a lot of across the defense production landscape, companies are coming to them for what they're offering. With that NDAA qualifier, because they can't sell their product to the government without everything inside of it being U.S. made or qualified, on the list, so to speak, right? So, that's real, and that's happening across industries, for all manner of product and I would imagine service too. Software would be, but anyway, all manner of what the military to government's buying, it has to come through this qualified supplier list, as a matter of national security. So, it's and so they're putting in a real strong foundation, with what they're how they're capitalized and how they're starting to monetize this, and making the right moves. They didn't invest in this OLED in-house production. They've been subcontracting that up to now, but now's the point where they want to start doing it in-house and capturing more margin. So, it's all good timing there, no doubt about it. And
yeah. With these small caps, I want to hear backlog and I want to hear revenue and I want to hear increase the net margin. If I hear those, and instead of just we don't know what's going on, or we have this guidance in the future for potential stuff, no, I want to hear orders. I want to hear backlog.
Yeah. Man, their phone's blowing up, definitely throughout this year, going 27, 28. This is what we're looking at, and the market's forward looking. So that's why, at least that's my thesis here. That's why the stock has been pushing up here with these announcements. The big catalyst being the idea they can use their technology, and they're ready to supply their technology now for these AI infrastructure, type market. That's just a whole new area that was not part of the consideration or the evaluation landscape before they made that announcement. So that's pretty exciting.
That's greater speed, flexibility, and cost efficiency to respond to that demand. We will continue to leverage our established Asian manufacturing partners for consumer and medical applications that do not have a domestic production requirement, and we will continue to use our European OLED deposition partner for NATO-aligned defense programs as well. The U.S. OLED capability is additive, designed specifically to support the U.S. defense market. I want to be very clear about the message this investment is intended to send, which is that we are comfortable with our cash position and our facility footprint to deliver this increased demand. The capital we raised in 2025 was raised with this level of growth and investment in mind. The OLED deposition decision is exactly the kind of investment that strengthens our defense business going forward. It expands sovereign supply chain options for our defense customers. It improves our control over quality, lead times, and pricing, and it complements our existing U.S. manufacturing capabilities for AMLCD, FLCOS, micro LED, and now OLED. KOPN remains the only company in the United States manufacturing 4 types of microdisplays, optics, and soon photonics for the U.S. defense customers who are increasingly demanding, and in some cases must, by law, purchase from trusted domestic producers for critical components. Clearly, KOPN is answering that call. Turning to the operations side, our investments in automation continue to deliver meaningful improvements in throughput, quality, consistency, and cost efficiencies. Both phases of our optical automation program are now operational, and we expect these investments to deliver about $1 million in annual operating expense savings and add to overall production capacity as they reach full utilization. From an advanced technology perspective, our neural display technology continues to advance, and as noted earlier, has now extended beyond defense and industrial display applications into AI infrastructure through our collaboration with Fabric AI and our Neural I/O initiatives. The neural display platform leverages advanced processing, an AI-enabled backplane, and offers display optimization to enhance image quality, reduce power consumption, and improves all overall user experience across the markets we serve. This display technology has several of the largest consumer companies interested in it for AI-enabled smart glasses. And we are now working to create a partnership to deliver neural display as a micro LED device rather than an OLED device, which is the current demonstrable device as it stands today. Furthermore, as I mentioned earlier, Neural I/O transceiver is not just a single chip strategy. It will be a family of devices focused on application-specific solutions within the AI GPU, CPU, and memory architecture of an existing data center and new data centers alike.
Memory?
These new chipsets will be developed with several of the largest semiconductor and AI infrastructure companies in the world, several of whom are actively engaged with KOPN to work on these solutions. And one of the only manufacturers in the world capable of producing 4 types of microdisplays, and now AI interconnection chipset solutions within the United States, KOPN maintains a unique competitive advantage that enables us to deliver the right technology for the customer-specific application in defense, industrial, medical, and now AI infrastructure applications. So to summarize the first quarter of 2026, together with the events we've announced subsequent to quarter end, represent a meaningful inflection point for KOPN. We extend our micro-LED and neural display platforms into AI infrastructure through our Fabric AI collaboration. We have launched several new products and received initial orders with Darkwave to bring full color to the enormous monochrome night vision goggle market and with Sentinel FPV for the massively expanding global drone goggle market as well. These new activities speak to the disciplined productivity of our internal research and development spending as these new technologies are attracting new customers in new market segments for KOPN. These new platforms enable KOPN to sell these products to multiple customers globally and are not just a custom product for just a single customer, making our forward-looking recurring revenue more balanced and forecastable. Within the quarter, we grew our defense backlog with a $21.5 million thermal imaging follow-on order, a $3.2 million initial Sentinel FPV order, over $5 million of new European HMD awards, a Phase 1 SBIR for soldier-borne micro-LEDs, and the first Darkwave order from Theon. We invested in our strategic priorities by committing to bringing full-scale OLED microdisplay manufacturing in-house in Westboro, and we did all of this while maintaining a strong balance sheet. Consequently, we reiterate our 2026 revenue guidance range of $52 million to $60 million, which we believe remains appropriate and conservative given the order momentum we're seeing across both our existing defense business and our newer growth programs. As more programs and awards are converted into shippable orders, and as our newer programs ramp, we expect to provide further updates throughout the year. I'll now turn the call over to our CFO, Eric Manns, to review our first quarter 2026 financial results in further detail. Eric?
Thank you, Michael, and good morning, everyone. As Michael outlined, in the first quarter, subsequent events represent a meaningful shift in KOPN's trajectory. From my perspective as CFO, what is particularly compelling is how clearly we're seeing our strategic investments begin to translate into tangible commercial momentum across both our core defense programs and our emerging opportunities in AI infrastructure. The combination of expanding defense orders, entry into new product categories like Sentinel FPV, and the strategic collaboration with Fabric AI gives us increasing confidence that we are building a more durable, diversified, and scalable revenue base. Just as importantly, we are doing so while maintaining a disciplined approach to capital deployment and a strong balance sheet. An important financial implication of this momentum is how it positions us to better utilize our existing manufacturing footprint. As volumes increase across multiple programs, we expect to more effectively absorb fixed costs with our facilities that have historically weighed on our cost structures. In other words, improved factory utilization and a broader mix of production programs should translate into better overhead absorption, margin expansion, and a more efficient operating model over time. The investments we've made, whether in micro-LED innovation, automation, bringing OLED manufacturing in-house, are not theoretical. They are directly aligned with identifiable demand signals from our customers and are designed to enhance throughput, improve cost efficiency, strengthen our control over both quality and delivery, and minimize risk. In short, we believe the progress you are seeing is new, not just incremental. It reflects a fundamental step forward in the company's growth profile, cost structure, and operating leverage. With that context, I'll now walk through the first quarter 2026 financial results in more detail. Total revenue for the first quarter ended March 28, 2026 were $10.6 million as compared to $10.5 million for the first quarter ended March 29, 2025. The slight year-over-year increase reflects new award and collaboration revenue contributions from the company's $15.4 million government micro-LED award and strategic AR thermal clip-on partnership, which more than offset the declines in product revenues. Product revenues for the first quarter were $5.4 million as compared to $9.2 million in a year-ago period. The year-over-year decrease was primarily due to lower period shipments of products for thermal weapon sight applications and liquid crystal displays. Non-product revenues were $5.1 million in the first quarter of 2026 as compared to $1.3 million in the first quarter of 2025. The increase was primarily driven by award revenue recognized in connection with the company's government award for the development of ultra-bright, full-color micro LED displays optimized for ground soldier augmented reality applications, together with collaboration revenue from a strategic partnership to develop a next generation clip-on with augmented reality and thermal integration capabilities. Cost of product revenues for the first quarter of 2026 were $5.6 million, or 103% of net product revenues, as compared to $7.6 million, or 83% of net product revenues for the first quarter of 2025. The increase as a percentage of net product revenues was primarily attributable to reduced production efficiency on a lower revenue base. Research and development expenses for the first quarter of 2026 were $4.9 million, as compared to $2.1 million for the first quarter of 2025. The R&D expense increase was primarily due to the aforementioned government award for the development of ultra-bright, full-color micro-LED display optimized for ground soldier augmented reality applications, offset by increases in process improvements. Selling, general, and administrative expenses were $6 million for the first quarter of 2026, as compared to $4.7 million in the first quarter of 2025. The increase was primarily due to increases in professional fees and accrued performance-based compensation. As of March 28, 2026, the company had cash and cash equivalents of $34 million, total cash, restricted and marketable securities of $59.5 million, inclusive of $25.3 million of restricted cash bonded against the Blue Radio's litigation appeal. Following the deconsolidation of KOPN Europe in October of 2025, the company's reported cash position is wholly domestic, and the company's analysis supports that its current liquidity is sufficient to fund operations through at least the end of the second quarter of 2027 and beyond. On a final note, there will be another filing of more administrative nature today, unrelated to earnings. This is to move from an S-1 registration to a Form S-3 registration. To be clear to the investors, there is no offering with this. It's technically re-registering shares from the PIPE last fall.
Good to hear.
That, I'll turn the call back over to Michael for closing remarks.
Go ahead.
I was just saying it's good to hear that there's no new offering. You never want to hear dilution. Sometimes it's necessary to get the funds up in order to actually keep the business growing. But I always like to hear when they're just doing a reconsolidation in-house and there's no new offering for short-term price action, at least.
Yeah. I think they're in the micro LED bit, but these things they make are small. Maybe they don't. They got the contracting going on for what I liked earlier was that I don't want to leave out was that they're hooked in with European contract manufacturers for that NATO market. All the medical device stuff, is coming out of Asia with those contract manufacturers, and then but they're maintaining for the customers that have to buy from a U.S. based manufacturing. They're bringing that in house, for all that NDA compliant business that is I think you used the word surging. So,
Yeah.
So I guess they're going to wrap it up here, and we'll get a few questions.
Thank you, Eric. Before we open up for questions, I want to leave you with this. Our progress in 2026 year to date represents a meaningful step forward in KOPN's strategic evolution, second phase of our transformation plan. We extended our core micro-LED and neural display platform into AI infrastructure through our collaboration with Fabric AI. We grew our defense order book across the U.S. and Europe and entered into the high-growth FPV drone market. We grew our defense order book and clearly have differentiated products like Sentinel FPV. We invested behind our defense business with a major commitment to U.S. OLED microdisplay manufacturing, and we did so while maintaining a strong balance sheet. What sets KOPN apart is very straightforward. We are the only company in the world manufacturing 4 types of microdisplays, the inventors of the bidirectional AI-enabled microdisplay, and we are the sole source provider on several Department of War programs of record that have many years of sustained production ahead of us. And our technology platform is now being deployed across some of the fastest growing market segments in defense and soon, AI infrastructure. We believe 2026 is the year this company begins to demonstrate the full potential of everything we have built, and we are just getting started. And with that, operator, I'll open the call for some questions.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. If you would like to ask a question, please press star and one on your telephone keypad. A confirmation tone will indicate your line is in the question queue. You may press star and two if you would like to remove your question from the queue. For participants using speaker equipment, it may be necessary to pick up your handset before pressing the star keys. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while we poll for questions. We take the first question from the line of Jason Schmidt from Lake Street Capital Markets. Please go ahead.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my questions. Michael, just a clarification on the guidance. I know you reiterated the full year outlook. Does that include the Fabric AI order?
It does. Yes, we're being very conservative on the forecast, Jason. We want to make sure that we're able to support the current order book as well as the new AI infrastructure chipset. So that's a very conservative forecast for this year.
Love to hear it.
Gotcha. And then just as a follow-up, going off your comments on the surge in OLED demand, just curious if you could update us what you're seeing from the F-35 pilot helmet segment.
Sure. So I can't go into too much detail. As folks are aware, KOPN has a customer in a fixed wing application that we've been supporting with our LCD technology. Our LCD business this year is increasing somewhat marginally. However, our OLED development, we expect to be in low rate initial production by the end of this year, maybe into Q or the first half of next year in OLED specifically, Jason. So we're expecting to see new OLED orders for that platform, I'd say, by the end of this year. The forecast that we've seen is larger than expected, and I can't go into too much more detail than that.
Okay, that's helpful. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. We take the next question from the line of John Siegman from Stifel. Please go ahead.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for taking the question. Really appreciated all the great news. A lot of positive developments. Just to follow up on the guide, just to make sure we understand it correctly. It seemed like all the defense developments really covered what you had in mind when you previously spoke to us.
JT,
Yeah.
first two questions are about guidance.
Yes, sir.
And then Fabric AI
What I'm hearing.
incremental to it. Just is there any? Are you anticipating any delays this year on any?
It's like, please tell us something good. Please tell us something good. We need just a little something bad to write about too, throw in there. But please tell us something good.
Yeah, I mean, this
Yeah.
has been probably one of the better earnings calls we've heard recently in terms of I can't really find any holes in it to poke. Like, I won't mention the company yesterday, but we did, that one, it was like, oh, I'm not really loving what I'm hearing. But this, I mean, we got AI infrastructure developments. We have a growing backlog. Everything's on track. They're giving very conservative guidance to give room for potential beats later, kind of like with what Ondas is doing.
Right.
No new dilution, growing pipeline, like I said, good strategic investments, but not too many. I mean, this, I'm very much considering grabbing some stuff before this keeps running. I got to just fight FOMO, and just get out right per my rules. But yeah, man, this is, and pre-market showing it too. Like market's impressed right now. I'm impressed. I think this is an undervalued company right now, and probably is going to be one of those hidden gems that we see, that is crossing the double digits at some point, I think in 2026, if they keep this up, especially with how much AI infrastructure is ripping right now. I mean, this is going to be a good one, I think.
Yeah. They've been slugging it out for 5 years too. I see a wide open, right to 8 here is where my optimistic, angel over here is telling me, yeah, it's running to 8 here in the next this week, but
Your leaps are happy. We're up 15% pre-market. I think to what? Are we up to 52-week highs right now? I haven't looked at the full chart, but I think we might be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 576. If it holds this, it just hit 580 as we're talking. You know,
Oh my goodness.
I threw up
Really?
the 1 minute start over here. Yeah, strong volume. You know, a lot of buying volume pressure coming in. You know, RSI is rising. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's you know,
I'm gonna watch the tape to see if we get an institutional order flow on Trader Daddy, and then if I've seen anything, that's like, wow, there's some unusual flow coming in. Someone's betting big on this going. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get in, and if not, then I'll wait for a little bit of a pullback, and then write some cash secured puts probably. Some
yeah.
short.
Yeah, you know, I gotta fess up. I decided last minute yesterday. I jumped off the tractor, ran in here. Said, you need to sell a few of these contracts, and at least get your principal back and all that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. The devil on this shoulder here was like maybe wait till the last minute. So, but what stopped me was, pulled up Thinkorswim, was looking at the options list and quite a bit of volume yesterday relative to the open interest.
Yeah.
With the rise in price, you know, I just couldn't pull the trigger. I didn't want to rush it there in the last 2 minutes of trading, and sort of a panic sell to lock it in because I tell you, as much as I've been paying attention to Copen here since February when I really bought in when they got that NATO order, that sort of opened up to me like, wow, because I already knew they sort of had locked in, or not locked in, but focused in with the NDAA and the domestic production supply chain that's being built right now. But realized that they were, opening up to that. Then this Fabric AI hit, collaboration has hit. The timing just couldn't be better. And you like what you're hearing. In the way of the conservative guidance, I like that they're just not shilling or bragging or just sticking with
Yes.
facts here and letting their reaction take hold. Just a sort of a natural reaction here. And there'd be plenty of time to uh, to really pump it when they got some exploding numbers here, but or surging numbers anyway. So
No grandstanding is key. They're just very
right, that's a good way to put it.
the results speak for them without being, we have all these amazing things happening, some smoke screen or snake oil. It's just straight. These are the facts. This is what's going on. Here are your updates. Good. And I mean, previously right now, up like 17%. Percent. Like, we might hit $6 when the market opens. This is crazy. So, yeah,
Well,
very happy on those leaps.
right on, man. Right on. And hey, we paused it for me to comment that the first two questions was guidance. Tell me something good. And obviously, while we've had it paused, he's obliged and told him something good. Let's check it out and see what it is.
Yeah. Let's keep going.
Anything that you previously expected, or just any kind of negative things that's now embedded in the guide? Thank you.
No, I think we're being uber conservative.
Conservative.
We want to make sure that we're able to achieve our forecast and overcome the forecast that we've given. And I think there's definite upside in the forecast that we've given, but nothing negative. We don't see any pullbacks. I think we're probably a little gun shy from the government shutdowns in Q3 and Q4 of last year. So we want to make sure that we overcome the forecast that we put out this year.
Okay, appreciate that. And then on the CapEx, excited to see you deploying some of that.
6
Your
months.
comments, you're confident that you have the capacity to support that. Can you talk a little bit about just what we're going to expect this year in terms of total CapEx and any kind of timing for these investments?
A great question. So the OLED deposition line that we're going to install in Westboro has the benefit of being able to use the back-end processing machinery that we already have or will be installing as part of our IBAS award. So the overall CapEx is far less than I would say most people think for this OLED deposition line. But we think the CapEx that we're going to spend this year is roughly around $5 million. over the course of the year, and about the same roughly for next year.
Hey, we got our answer right there, Yeah. Moderate, conservative, yeah, just what we need on the CapEx, we're not shooting for the moon, don't need to, right? We'll be able to meet the demand with what we're planning on spending. I think that's what the market liked hearing right there.
Yeah, like what I was saying,
Sorry,
Jack,
Chris.
market like certainty. So if we get certainty, if we get clear forecasts, clear guidance, clear growth objectives, that's great. That's something people want to invest in because they know where their money's going and what is likely to happen. If it's a bunch of, we don't know when this is happening, this might happen here. No, that we want to hear certainty. We want dates. We want assurances. And if we hear that, the market likes that. Company valued. It's in a good field with the defense and infrastructure. I mean, lots of winning confluences with it, which is reflecting in this call and current pre-market moves, especially when the market's red today. Where futures are opening red, and this is going crazy. So, very cool inverse right now we're seeing.
Nice.
Thank you for the time.
Of course.
Thank you. We take the next question from the line of Christian Schwab from Craig-Hallum Capital Group. Please go ahead.
Great. On the Michael, on the first person view, the Sentinel first person view, the opportunity there, seems in particular quite massive here in the United States. I think the government has already approved 1 million. I think these are the rough numbers. 1 million drone units, with roughly a third of them supposed to be first person view, and the next potential budget from the government, takes that to 3 million, with roughly the same type of percentage of units for first person view. So, given your strength there with peripheral awareness and the complexity of the goggles that were under the assumption that you made for that, kind of suggests that the price of something like that would probably approach roughly $1,000. Is that in the ballpark? Meaning that if you ship 40,000 of them, the order you have in hand with the drone dominance awards already approved, is a massive tailwind for the company. Am I thinking about that correctly?
Indeed, you are. Christian, I would have not spent the money to put in an OLED deposition line if we didn't see tremendous demand from very real customers that we vetted and are participating in these conversations with the Department of War. And I think your assumptions are correct. The numbers that we're seeing as congressional line items of record are 1 million drones in the budget this year, and a third of those will be first-person view. 3 million in 2027-28 timeframe. A third of those will be first-person viewers. And out of the drone dominance competition, we can confidently say that we're in several of them with our Sentinel product, either selling displays or selling a display with an optic or selling a full Sentinel device. So we have 3 different ways that we can claim revenue in first-person view drones. But for the audience, I think I was corrected by one of our teammates here in how I was thinking about drones. And the words are very sharp, so I apologize for that. But the words are this. Drones are the new bullets, and first-person viewers are the gun. And that stuck with me, and that shaped my thinking around the volume potential here in the United States for first-person viewer goggles, for the displays and optics that are required with them, and the fact that they have to be, by law, built here in the United States, and they cannot use Chinese materials, even glass or OLED materials itself. So that provides KOPN with a very unique opportunity for growth. And our customers that know now that we have our own OLED deposition machine coming and will be operational around this time next year, producing panels for them, are very excited that KOPN will be in this market and definitely driving efficiencies and price and full integrated application-specific solutions for them. So very exciting times for us.
Thank you for the exclamation point on that clarity. My second question, comes back, to micro LEDs used for short range data center links to replace copper. Obviously, massive efficiency and higher speeds than copper, cooling needs, energy costs, et cetera, et cetera. Some of the competitors who are also engaging in this technology, have significantly greater scale. Can you kind of walk us through? I think you kind of hinted at it with quality, yield, and technology and expertise of manufacturing. But can you kind of walk us through, your history of producing micro LEDs for critical technology and very complex cases that they're used currently in the defense industry that gives you confidence that you'll be able to ramp this successfully and kind of show. I think you hinted at working with a couple large U.S.-based semiconductor companies already engaged with you. Your confidence of proving this out.
Yes. So I'll start with KOPN has micro LEDs in production today. And they're very difficult, Christian, to manufacture. I think if you were to ask the companies that have either acquired startups or have tried to build micro LEDs before that aren't focused on it or specializing in it, it is very difficult technology to make. As an example, in our 2K by 2K monochrome device, there are 16 million individual sub-pixels that we have to get perfect to be able to deliver that device. That is a tremendous amount of engineering and capability. And to be able to manufacture that at scale is something that KOPN has worked very diligently on for years. And I think our competitors are figuring out that it's not just throwing a bunch of LEDs onto a backplane. It is very difficult technology to build, and they're struggling with it, and we see them struggling with it. Many of them have approached KOPN to help. So we know how to build this technology. We build it today. It is in production, flying in an aircraft today. And we invented the bidirectional microdisplay 2 years ago. In fact, we demonstrate it actively. We can demonstrate neural display, which is a bidirectional display today. We demonstrate our micro LED that has 1.8 million foot lamberts of brightness, which is about 6.8-ish million nits of brightness, which is basically the level of a laser. And we produce that and demonstrate it today. So we have all the pieces. And more importantly, the Department of War is funding KOPN to build a high-rate micro LED production line right here in the United States. And that production line will be capable of millions of units. So we're in a very good position to be early in this market, to lead this market. And we have great relationships and funding now to deliver that technology very early. And I think it's going to be a huge revenue driver for us this year of at least 15 million. Next year, at least 25 million is what we're seeing right now, potentially up to 50 million of revenue. And the year after that, I think this chipset could be larger than our entire defense business. That's my personal opinion. So very large opportunity set for us. We have a unique skill set to deliver it. And we're here in the United States focused on the number 2 consumer of AI infrastructure, which is the Department of War of the U.S. government.
Great. Thanks for that clarity. I'll let somebody else ask some questions. Thanks.
Thanks, Christian.
Thank you. We take the next question from the line of Josh Sullivan from Jones Trading. Please go ahead.
Hey, good morning. Just to follow up on the commercial interconnect opportunity here. What do you see as big gating factors for large-scale adoption, or what are we going to see publicly over in the next 12 to 18 months? You just gave out some guidance figures there, some target figures, we'll call them. But curious, what we're going to see publicly kind of from a technology front that, shows us that the market is indeed walking towards large-scale adoption.
Great question, Josh, and welcome to the call and the team. Firstly, you're seeing significant investment from the largest GPU manufacturers in the world. I think it's fair to say NVIDIA spent over $6 billion in this interconnect space over the last few months.
It's moving too heavy.
I was literally going ahead and pausing this because I was just trying to ask myself, have they stopped the trading? And
Yep.
I'm actually looking at the option spread, and I was like, wow, I've never seen this. But the option I'm holding is the $5 call for January, and it immediately jumped up 34%, and then the spread went from at $2.48 a share, and then the spread went from the opening around that mark to a bid of 0 and an ask of $4. And I'm like, what? I was trying to process this, listening to that last bit, and then I started looking up at the price action and noticed that the volume number was not changing. And yeah, sure enough, so it's halted on the Schwab too, Addy. Good catch there. But I was struggling with processing that. I always do, man. When that happens, there needs to be something that jumps up on here on this Thinkorswim that just tells you, hey, trading stopped for a little bit, so you don't have to sit there and wonder, like, or is the app locked up, or is my internet connection gone or something?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're seeing other GPU.
Oh, something else?
No.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, he was just talking about NVIDIA and 5 billion. I mean, that's what I remember.
CPU memory companies invest in the same into many startup companies that are out there, and M&A is prevalent right now in this space. I think what we're going to see is demonstrable systems this year, at least from KOPN and Fabric AI, that will demonstrate the capability of moving photons faster, quicker, cheaper, at lower power consumption and lower overall cost than that of copper or fiber optics. And for us, more specifically, where we fit isn't everywhere. It's very much focused on chip to chip, board to board, and rack to rack. That's where micro LEDs, I think, will find their home because of our ability to transmit data over certain lengths. So I think you're going to see the market start to segment between those areas of chip to chip, board to board, and rack to rack. I think the differentiating factor is rack to rack, and then rack to external racks or floors where fiber optics are going to be used more predominantly. And then from a copper interconnect perspective, I think that market is going to start to shrink very rapidly as these new technologies get adopted next year and certainly into 2028.
Got it.
Okay, so literally right just now, all the numbers repopulated. I guess they started trading again. We're down to 591 on the share price, but we got a spread of $1.85 to $5 on the ask for those $5 calls for January. So and 11 have traded hands, but we are up probably 20% open interest over yesterday's open interest number was in the 5,000s. We're 62.92 now. So yeah, man, this is our best call, I think.
Yeah.
In terms of just what's going on during the call, with the market, hey, pretty good lead in for Ondas. Yeah, this got me totally distracted. I hadn't even checked Ondas's price this morning.
I think it's down right now. I was looking, AMPX was up, but yeah, we'll see what happens on the earnings call for it. It's been quiet, so I think it's ready to go for a ripper, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, we had a strong day yesterday. A good start to the week. We can see if they can keep up the momentum here. KOPN definitely has some momentum rolling, and I like how they're setting up to under promise and over deliver going into this year. This gives me a lot. This is adding to conviction on top of conviction.
Absolutely.
And just given DOW's investment in your high rate production line, how quickly does the defense and intelligence market move? And are there any funding line items that we can point to in the budget or elsewhere that might show that we're seeing some advancement as well?
You bet. So
Oh,
right now, KOPN is actively working with multiple four-letter agencies to align funding. As an example, NIST has a BAA funding line with multiple billions of dollars listed on it. Also, the CHIPS Act also has many billions of dollars available for AI infrastructure available. And we are actively working with those funding agencies and funding lines as we sit here today.
And then just one last one, on the retrofit opportunity. How do you?
Yes.
big.
Am I clear on that?
Big.
And then just how does that maybe play out?
Great question. So either by luck or by intelligence, I'm not sure which one, KOPN's micro LED product is programmable. So one of the things that I started when I joined KOPN is software defined everything. And if we're able to use a programmable micro LED to interface to the brownfield, meaning already existing AI infrastructure, meaning an H100 or an older CPU as an example, and we're able to interface to those CPUs or GPU boards, either in a board-to-board configuration as an example or a rack-to-rack configuration, we can program our chip to talk to the brownfield, the existing equipment, and then our receiver side will be talking through programmability to the new chips, potentially an H200 or B300 or whatever it might be. And that programmability sets us apart as well. And we're doing so because a lot of the customers that we talk to do not want to rip and replace their entire system. A, it works. B, it's very difficult to change. And C, it's already paid for. So we want to be very flexible, but we can always move to more of an ASIC platform to remove the cost of programmability. But I don't think that's the right thing to do right now. I think getting programmable micro LEDs called Neural I/O to our customers and in our customers' hands will further the adoption rate and allow that adoption rate to increase more exponentially if it's programmable.
Great. Thank you for the time.
Great question.
That was a good question.
Thank you.
That's a big market.
Participants, if you wish
Converting
to ask a
goggles.
question, please press star and one.
That whole market of
We
converting
take the next
the
question
black
from the
and white
line of Austin
monochrome
Moore
goggles
from Canaccord
into this
Genuity.
full-color
Please go ahead.
vision.
Hi, good morning. So just
Big
my
market.
first question here. If we think about the market opportunity for neural I/O optical transceivers and data centers, do you expect to yield the highest margins within the U.S. domestic market, particularly for DOW or intelligence community data centers? Or are you also looking overseas to data centers in like Europe and the Middle East where you could potentially enter those markets? And do you think you'd have favorable margins there?
Great question. So yes, in the United States, I think KOPN is very unique in our focus. And going back to a question that I get asked all the time, why Fabric AI? And Austin, Fabric is there to focus on the hyperscaler markets and staff appropriately with the people that know that market and understand that market. While KOPN understands the defense, Department of War, and the government market specific to four-letter agencies, et cetera, we know how to talk to those folks. We sell to those folks today, and we're actively engaged in that market. And I think we're a very unique supplier in this case. Since the Department of War is paying for this production line in the first place, they get the benefit of not only paying for that production line, but as we utilize it with Neural I/O, it brings down our costs and increases our absorption rate of that production line for our color micro LED program, which, the government wins twice in that case. So yes, I think there's better margins in the United States government and defense industry for this technology. In terms of European and Southeast Asia and NATO, quite frankly, we haven't reached a partnership yet. We're not engaged in those conversations yet. And we are working to have some partnerships discussions with folks that are in that market and can support us in those areas, but we're not there yet.
Okay, and if I shift over to talk about Sentinel FPV, if we think about the opportunity within like drone dominance, the 54.6 billion for drone autonomous working group, and then U.S. domestic headsets for like commercial drone applications, are there any drones that the headsets would not be compatible with, fiber optic drones versus ones that are wireless and use computer vision?
Uh, if it has a camera on it and is controlled, we can use Sentinel FPV. The question becomes is, do you need to use a headset versus a panel? And if it's for the smaller drone sets, the individual strikers, as an example, what we're seeing is that the warfighter wants to be able to have that first-person viewer on their helmet and be able to remove it, or at least look through it and have that dual situational awareness that we talked about, and the ability to flip up that headset so they can fight. So in terms of the soldier-worn, soldier-born type of system, I think we have a great product in Sentinel, and it would be used for the vast majority of those drones. Specific to the 1 million to 3 million drones, we think a third of those will be using first-person viewers that are either helmet-mounted or glass-mounted on the face.
Awesome. Thanks for the call. I'll pass it back.
The inflation stuff data.
Thank you.
Say again?
I was just gonna say, it looks like the market's shaking off some of the inflation data as well. We opened up pretty red, but I'm seeing some rally on this, the mega cap positions and small caps alike. So that's pretty cool. Then KOPN, of course, is moving. Hopefully we don't get halted again. we'll see what happens.
Right? Yeah, man, halt it, man. Yeah, keep on wanting more.
I mean,
Ladies and gentlemen, as there are no further questions,
Yeah.
I would now hand the
Yeah,
conference
we're-
over to Michael
on
Murray
6
for
now.
his closing comments.
Wonderful, operator. Thank you very much. And thank you to everyone joining us today. We appreciate your continued support and look forward to updating you on our progress in the months to come. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to our IR firm, MZ Group, who would be happy to answer them and or set a call with management for a follow-up. Thank you all very much. Have a great day.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that was it. No, nice wrap up. Let's get back to work. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love what I'm hearing, man. They're just all business. They're getting things done. They're making good on promises. That's everything you want to see in a stock that you're bullish on an earnings call. I mean, I think that's probably one of the better earnings calls that we've listened to in recent memory in terms of updates, but also giving us clear guidelines without giving away too much. I think they just handled that very well. I like the CEO a lot, and really excited to watch this one very closely moving forward and start getting some content pumped out on it. So it sounds like it's definitely deserving of that. So yeah, very, very excited to allocate a larger COPN position here soon, and hopefully go to that conference at the end of May would be cool as well.
Right. And if that doesn't work out, they've got another one in Boston in a few months. Can't remember exactly when. I think it's in about 3 months. But that might coincide with not only maybe the next earnings call or getting some FaceTime with management because their headquarters is there. But the new manufacturing facility, I think it's in Massachusetts, Westboro. I don't know the geography that well, but it's probably fairly close to where their headquarters is. So we've got that as a backup for sure. I'm pleased as punch with this one. This is a great call.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, great call, great move. Hey, I would say too, with especially these last several weeks, COPN has had a tendency to have some 10% or so intraday swings, So the higher we get now, the bigger those swings get in terms of a dollar. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see it come all the way down into fives and push back up. It's been a lot of I can't wait to dig in and see what the institutional ownership situation's looking like, and then follow it and see if it increases from here. I believe as of now, it's about 50%, give or take, has been accumulated on these. And those were some pretty big names asking questions in there as well, following this company. So,
I'm
yeah.
going up cost basis on my shares. They're up up 70% just on shares. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, if you call all these small caps early, how much they can actually rise without the use of any leverage or options. As long as you just get in early and you figure out the company's good. I mean, hey, a 70% return is just as good as a great options play. And that's, the hold wasn't that long. So it's very cool to see.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the whole market and living in America, man. Uh it's kind of, I was thinking the other day, it's kind of like golf. They don't ask how, just how many. It doesn't matter if it's Chewy or Copen or ARM or Nvidia or some stock you've never heard of. I'm constantly amazed at coming across companies I never heard of that that are $1 billion companies. So
I think a lot of people are going to hear about Copen moving forward. I think
yeah,
today they kind of proved that. So it's going to be an exciting one to watch.
it's going to show up when it gets trading stopped in the first few minutes. During an earnings call. I imagine it was during. They might have wrapped that up before the open actually happened. I kind of lose track when we're pausing and doing the commentary. There was something else too I wanted to mention about Copen. And one of the reasons I bought into them is that, and it didn't really come up a whole lot. I didn't jot down Anduril anywhere, did I? So I'm not even sure if Anduril came up, but Palmer Luckey is the guy that started up Anduril, and with the whole trying to change the whole approach to defense procurement. In addition to and at the same time, the design and infusing all of this new technology that's coming at us so fast here in these last 5-10 years. And over the next 5, for sure. But Palmer Luckey made his nut with the FPV virtual reality glasses.
Yep. I think
Sold it to Facebook, right?
Yep. Or
Yep.
Meta something. Yeah.
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 So for him to be rather than designing his own technology for his own FPV stuff and own micro displays and whatnot with the things he's coming up with over there at Anduril, which is quite a lot, says a lot to me. Because Copen is the one that's tied in with that helmet that they're making. So that's tied in with Anduril, tied in with Palantir. So, yeah, these the guys with game know they know who else has game, and to so that said a lot to me once I realized that, and uh uh that would be my response um to the competition question coming on board with these optical transceivers, which is what they're using, rack to rack, chip to chip, stack to stack, whatever. And them already producing these things and manufacturing them at scale. So they're ahead of the game. Palmer Luckey's the one that could have went with his own technology that he sold to Facebook. Instead, he's going with these guys. I'm sure and so he really knows that. He knows a lot, but he definitely knows that angle and that technology space. So yeah, very exciting stuff, man. No doubt about it. We might can wrap it here. We didn't get a chance to put out an announcement, but you still want to do some Trader Daddy stuff here live? Maybe take a break and get on that. I don't know.
I still don't. Well, there actually could be some plays today. We'll see. With the CPI data, I mean, I haven't actually looked this morning at the live flow, but I guess if it is a red day and the markets think it's going to shake it off, then we might see some unusual activity of people layering in some calls for a correction. Let's see. Market sentiment, I'm assuming, is going to be bearish just based on what I'm seeing. Yeah, Six and QQQ are bearish for order flow. We have some large puts coming in on TSM. Maybe later today. Yeah, we could definitely look at some stuff for sure. Otherwise, we could get to or something.
Yeah, if it's not a great day for it, unless things are really sliding and there's some action on the put side.
That's the cool thing. I mean, there's always some action with it either way, puts or calls. It's just like I want to wait till more data flows in on the daily just to see if there are any like high conviction plays going in, a lot of money going into something. And just at open right now, it's a bunch of like mega caps, but there's a really really big TSM put, $20 million for 1 month puts, which actually is interesting to me a lot. I want to check on that. The otherwise right now, usually I'm looking for like some smaller companies where there was a large amount of premium on like a short dated option without much news, making me think someone knows something. That's my favorite thing to trade.
Right.
I gave that call on like OXY yesterday, and that went like 3%. That was going like 2% after hours because it was petroleum. Looks like it jumped down a bit pre-market, but yeah, absolutely was cooking overnight. A couple other ones, but either later today or tomorrow we can link up and then we'll do some live Trader Daddy stuff just to go over it. Because I know a lot of people are curious on the platform, how it works and how to use it. And we did do the hour-long demo, but we have some more demos coming too. So yeah, a lot of stuff on that front.
Yeah. Maybe we get some guest submitted tickers to look up and evaluate on the platform as well.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Okay. Yeah. No, okay. Yeah. I'll schedule something and then we'll do let's do a Trader Day today and have people come on, bring tickers they want to look at, and we can analyze them. That'd be fun. See if there's any flow in there.
All right. Well, good luck up. Let us know if you guys still like KOPN, if you're looking at it and want to join in on investing with it. Just let us know. We'd like to know if folks are following us on this or at least following the plays. Might be a good play for starting to sell some cash secure puts or moving into it with sold puts.
Let's see.
Yeah, we'll see. All right.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Benny. We will see you guys later. That was KOPN earnings. Very, very good, I think.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you coming in.
Thanks, everyone.